Hi, welcome to this episode. Today I'll be sharing with you about the stock exchange market, and this episode has come up because MTN Uganda is having a sale on their shares. So I thought this would be like the perfect time to briefly talk about what the stock exchange is and how you can decide whether it's for you or not for you, and then also share with you how MTN is selling their shares and what this means. Does it make sense? Is it a good idea? Based on my point of view. Let's jump into the episode. Hi, welcome to this episode. And today I'm sharing with you about the stock exchange. So what is the stock exchange? Like generally, this is when a company lists some of their shares for the public to buy. So basically, the company has a business and then it's getting funds from investors who then own a part of their company. So we have a number of companies that are listed. I'm going to share with you the list. There's like MTN, Stanbic, Uganda Clays. There are quite a number of them. Now, generally that is what it is. When you buy a share, you own that portion of the company. And when the company makes a profit or a loss, you as the owner will share in it. So that will also determine if you've bought in a good company, a company that does well, or one that doesn't do so well. Now, when you see the prices that they usually put up, behind those prices is a business that has a product that they sell or a service, a business that has operations, how is the company managed, a business that has how is the economy or the economic time affecting it. So all those affect. So you don't just see a price. When you keep in mind that behind that price there's a business, you also see how is this business actually doing on ground, because that will determine whether it will make profits or losses. The next point that I want to talk about is what does it mean to purchase shares here in Uganda. To buy shares in Uganda, you need to go through a broker, and all these brokers are monitored by the Capital Markets Authority. So I'm going to show you their list on the screen for the brokers that we have. So these people, you open up an account with a CSD account, which you then use to buy shares. On every transaction, they take 2.1% when you're buying the shares and when you choose to sell the shares. That's a fee that they charge. It's the same for all brokers. That is what it takes to get into the market. Now, most times people get into the market for two reasons. The first reason could be to buy shares at a lower price, and then when the price goes up, they sell at a higher price and they make profit. The next reason you can buy is so that you can buy in a company that gives out dividends, and then every time they make a profit, they share it with their owner, their shareholders. So MTN gives out dividends 3 times a year. They give out dividends in June, in September, and in December. So that's an example of if you buy for dividends, you buy for the long term. Now, when you buy for the short term to wait for the price to increase, you need to keep in mind that you're going to be charged that 2.1%. So for you to actually make money, that profit has to be more than that commission that they're going to charge you. So that is how, generally, that's what it's like. The next thing that I want to share with you in this episode is that MTN right now has a sale of their shares. MTN International, the one in Mauritius, is selling shares, and each share is 170 shillings. I want to share with you the details on the screen. And when they're selling that a minimum of 1,400 shares, each at 170. So for every 140 shares that you buy, they're going to give you 30 extra shares, incentive shares. That's what they're calling them. So when you kind of do the mathematics, it means that you've actually bought one share at 140 shillings. This sale is going on up to the 12th of June. That is when they're going to stop this offer. Now, there are people who you tell the stock exchange and their mind just goes off, like that is not for me. And it's not very well received by some people in the country, which is understandable, because we've had situations like Uganda Clays. Yeah, I've been banned by that shit. You buy and then the company is suddenly making losses, they don't declare any dividends, and then the price is going down. So generally it was not a very good idea. I don't know how people who are still there are doing it. But those are some examples of incidents in stock exchanges that haven't gone well. Now, how do you decide if this works for you? Or this is not for you. These are some of the things that I'd like to share that you can keep in mind. One, most people recommend that when you get into the stock exchange, think of it as a long-term thing. Because when you get, like when you start a business, for example, let's first put the stock exchange market aside. Any business, when you start, it will have ups and downs, right? It will have good seasons and it will have seasons that are not so good. So when you buy and sell, you don't know if you're selling at a point when the business is not doing well and then it will go up in the future. You're generally gambling. You get what I'm saying? So when you buy and you hold for the long term, you're able to receive the dividends, if they're dividends. But even when the prices keep changing, sometimes they go up and they go down based on demand and supply. Are more people buying? Are more people selling? All those things affect. And also, that price is also affected by how is the economy doing and affecting the industry of the company that you've bought in. So when you hold for the long term, it kind of evens out the ups and the downs. You're able to get a proper average. So that's what most people recommend. So if you choose to get into the stock exchange market, those are some of the things you can think about. The second thing that I think you can think about, keep in mind, is that if you need that money that you have invested in urgently, you're going to lose money. Because for you to buy shares, they charge you 2.1%. This means that you need to put in money that you don't expect to need in the short term. That is something else that you need to put in mind. But overall, I'm sharing this episode so that you can just have a startup idea. I'm not a financial advisor. These are simply from my experience and also some research that I've done. But you can go ahead and do your research. There's so much out there. Just think about it. It may or may not work for you. Personally, when I think about it, I look at it from the point of getting dividends. When you buy from companies that get you dividends, it means that literally your money is working for you while you sleep. Because at the point of dividends, you will receive money and yet you are a customer. But everything comes with pros and cons. When you look at your investment portfolio, if you have money in land, you have money in your business, you have money in your NSSF, and then you have money in your shares, it diversifies the places that you put your money in, which will maybe when you need money, you can't sell land, but you can get from your bonds, Maybe the land won't give you the cash flow, but you'll get dividends from your shares. So it's about juggling the different versions to find what works for you. I hope you found value in this episode, and I'll share with you an episode that talks about how to save money, and that is the money that you can then put into shares once you've saved it. Thank you for listening. You can like and subscribe.